up, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go over what I have found. You guys haven't watched already, make sure you watch the Dark Side of Pokemon Go Part 4 because this directly ties into that video. And I have some compelling evidence that proves what that video talks about. Basically, about how Go Battle League picks your opponents. The leads. Are you going to win or are you going to lose? There's no in between, obviously. But how the game seeks out your opponents is not a coincidence. There's an algorithm. Some people may call it, hey, it's rigged. Basically, same difference. So let's get into it. It's been a hot topic from a lot of key players in the PvP community, Lucky Buns being one of them. So this was just yesterday. Lucky Buns, algorithm is rigged. Switched my team 3 times back to back and coincidentally got my exact counters. So for example, he had a Charizard, Swampert, Licky Licky, and then a Dynamic Punch Poliwrath. Shiftry, Fury Cutter, it would be a Fury Cutter and a X Scissor, Scizor. Not looking good. Not looking good. Let's go ahead and read here. You're gonna have to change your username to Unlucky Buns. So here we go. This is by people, just like you. Same has happened to me 5 times in a row. I changed my team. My opponent had the perfect counter each time. What are the odds, right? But when I play okay, this is different. Premium rate passes I have found do not affect this algorithm at all. It does not affect it. I had the same thing happen today. It's almost like I'm battling bots. I wouldn't say bots, it's just the way the algorithm works. If you have been losing, it seems like it'll pair you with a more optimal leads. Whereas if you've been winning, you'll get matched with bad leads. Just speculation, though nothing confirmed. Well, I've gathered all the evidence here, and also from my own experiences, this is the case. Yep, that exactly happens to be too much of a coincidence. Whatever teams I pick, they have an answer for it. Go Battle League is fixed and broken. Wow, I thought I was the only one that noticed, but it's totally fair and balanced, huh? No. I did one good run, then they match up with pure counters and I drop back just as fast. Happened to me as many times. When I use a premium pass, it didn't happen. For me, it looks like Niantic rigged it. Even with a premium pass, depending on how well you do, depends on what's going to happen later. So here is how it works. I've given you guys plenty of evidence to show that it's happening to a lot of people like you, me included. This is how it works. First set of 5, it's going to be completely random. On your first set of 5, 9 times out of 10 it'll be completely random, right? You go 4-1. Fantastic. You just shot up anywhere from 20 to 40 points depending on who you defeated, right? 4-1. You're great. You're going to your next set, You're going to go either 2-3 or 1-4 and drop down back to where you started. If not worse, you might even go 0-5. Here's why. So, when the game is constantly seeking out people to battle, there's only one of 2 options. Either the person you're battling has been losing, so the game sought you out because they had perfect counters against you, so they can get a win. Because remember what I just said, you go 1-4, or you go 2-3. If those people are 0-3, the game's going to seek you out, so they can get one of their wins. They have the prime counters. You can't win no matter what. And the same thing holds true on the other end. If you start a set or you've already lost a battle, the game is going to seek out someone whom you can beat. Because let's be honest, how often has a lead matchup not been super effective based? What I mean by this is, how often do you go into a matchup in the lead where there is not a super effective matchup, whether it's in your favor or not in your favor? Count how many times that has happened to you. Not very many times. There are not very many times where you have a random neutral matchup. Not very many times at all. And even, let's give an example in this case. A Licky Licky versus a Swampert. Well, Licky Licky knows Grass Knot, doesn't it? I think so. Regardless, Swampert's going to Hydro Can the crap out of it. Let's give a different example. Let's give Charizard versus Poliwrath. Poliwrath runs Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch. And then Charizard gets Dragon Claw very quickly. So this would be kind of a neutral matchup in the sense that it's going to be really hard and it's going to be a long fought battle for these Pokemon to try to kill each other if no one switches out. This just doesn't happen. very often at all. No neutral type, just random Pokemon matchups in the lead happen. It is always 99 out of 100 times a super effective battle, whether it's in your favor or against you. All the time. And that's not a coincidence. So let's go ahead and look here. So, couldn't go on a winning set since I went 5-0 this morning. I've said in the past I don't really care about the rating because of this. I feel like the game matches you up with your counters when you're doing well. Absolutely correct. So he went 5-0, jumped up like 70 points, right? And then couldn't get a winning set after that because he smoked his first set. So the game is going to knock him back down because he did so well, basically putting him in his place. Now, one of my fellow subscribers has been, you know, tweeting me on Twitter and showing me and giving me some evidence as well. So, wish I would have videoed my Go Battle League matches today. The game was 100% matching me against lineups that were direct counters to my Pokemon. I ran a Gengar, Omastar, Cloyster. Pretty interesting lineup. And got hard countered 10 matches. Swapped to Charizard, swapped to a Charizard lead in the match, led with an Aggron. Aggron, I would assume in this case, had Smackdown, which is terrible. Very next set, I lead Zard, T-Tar Shiftry, got paired with another person with Zard, led, but it had Air Slash. Interesting, Air Slash was a direct counter to his Shiftry. See, sometimes the direct counters aren't, you know, leads per se, right? Like your lead against their lead isn't directly countered, but they have something that hard counters what you do have. Then Venusaur with Sludge Bomb and a Clefable in the back. Ah! Clefable takes out T-Tar. Venusaur takes out Shiftry as well. Basically a no-win scenario no matter what. His next 3 matches. Now this one he shouldn't have quit because I think he had the chance to actually win this one. This one here against Gardevoir, that's pretty rough. That is very rough, actually. And then that one's rough as well. Very rough. Hard to switch into, hard to win. I'm telling you, there's an algorithm that does this and decides if the set will be a hard counter set or not. Because guys, I've mentioned this before. There's a difference between a counter and a hard counter. A hard counter is a Pokemon that will absolutely obliterate you and maybe even another Pokemon on your team, leading you to only one Pokemon left to have a hope of taking it out. But here's the thing, if you don't lead with that Pokemon, which obviously you're not because it's all about hard counter, right? That Pokemon, you have to switch to it in hopes that they don't switch their hard counter Pokemon against you. Well, chances are their hard counter Pokemon's going to get switched out. Therefore, it's in the back, ready to slaughter your 2 Pokemon that it counters heavily. There's a difference between a hard counter and a counter, and that's it. A counter is just like, hey, you know, this is a pretty bad matchup. You know, I could probably almost kill it, but he's definitely going to kill me no matter what. So I could switch, but then they'll switch, and they still have that Pokemon against my other Pokemon. That's a counter, but a hard counter is a Pokemon that can obliterate your team. And that's what's happening more times than often. So that is basically the evidence to show that this is not random, guys. We do not get random paired in Go Battle League. We don't have random neutral matchups. We don't. The Pokemon aren't random. I know there's people running funny sets out there. There has to be some weird set combinations. It's asinine to think that this isn't happening. It is, guys. It is happening. This is how it works. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Have you encountered exactly this? You are literally spitting evidence. You are the evidence. You are the backer of this algorithm. It's not even a conspiracy. I would just say the algorithm information that we've been gathering. So let me know in the comment section down below. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, be a part of the Fitz City fam, and if you were unaware of this happening, please subscribe. This is the boy Fitz City. I'm signing off. See you guys in the next Pokemon Go video.